to Atlantis Confirmed. It's Steve. This new discovery could not have come at a better time. Just coming on the heels of me discovering that Viracocha is a anguiped, and as such, he has the Tetragrammaton, the four-letter word for God in the ancient Judaic faith that outside of the main religion of Judaism is known as apostates. So they just discovered. So Viracocha, and then I determined also that Malta and Stonehenge are also Jewish sites featuring the high, if not the Tetragrammaton itself. Then yesterday, I had all these people send me this. Yeah, I saw it. And I didn't have a chance because I was working on the other stuff. But okay, so were Neanderthals making art in Europe's fabled unicorn cave. A chest-sized piece of bone crafted before modern humans are believed to have arrived in the area sparks questions about artistic expression beyond Homo sapiens. What have I been saying? The Neanderthals have been vastly overlooked. They are the ones who started carving stone. They are the ones who definitely witnessed the plasma event, and they began the spirituality of what has become known as Judaism. This artifact goes back 55,000 years. I'm sorry, 51. Researchers have unearthed a 51,000-year-old cave deer bone in Einhornhol. We've all been there, right? In Germany, that shows evidence of symbolic behavior according to, they're just saying it's Neanderthal on bone from a 51,000-year-old cave. That's how far back we know, at least now, that the plasma deity event happened, and it sparked the birth of Judaism. All faiths are proto-Judaism. Okay, so here is the bone fragment itself, and in typical quackademic fashion, they have no idea what they have. In fact, they are holding it upside down. This is the correct way it should be seen. And if you have come to my videos, you should recognize that right away. I always talk about it. That's the face in Lascaux Caves. It's also Malta, the negative spaces, and it's also a map, a topographical map. There's the snake. There's that snake going up. I'm going to talk about all of this, but main thing I want you to look at is, this is a 17,000-year-old cave painting, and this dates back 55,000 years. This is the same thing. There's the eye, there's the eye, there's the depression, there's the depression, there's the slant, there's the slant. The cheekbone, it follows the silhouette. Okay? So I'll give you can look at that later on your own. And so let's go back. So, this contains the Tetragrammaton. Check it out. Boom. Okay, so these are the letters of the Tetragrammaton, right? Here's how it's formed. This is the piece, right? Here's how it forms. We're going to take just this little piece, just the same way that it does in Stonehenge. This little piece right here is this little piece right there. This L over top of it, like tetragrammaton. Okay, so there's the little piece. This is the L shape, just like Malta and just like Stonehenge. I'm right. This goes over top. Okay, so here I've illustrated. Here's a small piece. Here's the tetras piece that goes over top. This part they have turned into the serpent. This is where the serpent originates. This is it. This is the origin of the serpent. It's coming down out. They've made it that part because it provides the symmetry as the dividing point. Here's where it is, and here's where I've marked it off, right? And here, okay, is again the little one and a big one. Now we're coming down the other side. a little, I'll do it on this, a little one and a big one, just like the Tetris, like Malta. And then this guy down here is that like smiley face right there. And I have seen this face is essentially our skull face that looks to the side. It's also in other places. But here we see where the crack between the eyes. We see the eyes, the mouth. This is the bindi. Go your third eye. But it is, see how it all ties together? It is making the Tetragrammaton. This is proof that Neanderthal man was the one who started spirituality. This is in a 51,000-year-old cave inhabited by Neanderthals. They probably shared it with the Homo sapiens who were around at the time and the Denisovans. But the first universal faith across the country, across the world, was this proto-Judaic faith. That now dates to 51,000 years old. Again, here's the little piece. Here, I'm going to square it. Look, there's the little piece. Here's the bigger piece. It's like Tetris. It's like upside down L. The snake that you see here is the beginning of the serpent, where that came from, and that makes the middle serpent. See how it's just like that. Right here, we have the next little tiny piece with a Tetris over top of it again, because that's exactly what it's forming here. And then the smile at the bottom, the toothy grin, is the accent right there. I'll take my Pulitzer now, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Again, I want to remind you that this was all derived from our plasma deity friend in the sky. You can see, here's the head, here's the arms. This would be where the spheres were, and he has the alternative, this one, because it is the sacred feminine. And that is what they were worshiping with the Tetragrammaton. God is female energy. And the Tao Te Ching teaches us, I was just listening to this today, the Tao Te Ching teaches us, know the male energy, know the masculine, but stick to the female, because that is the nurturing, giving energy, the non-aggression. Also, I always like to point out, that's where the Starbucks logo, it's where mermaids come from, and the Starbucks logo. By the way, I always forget to tell you, in the old days, when you had the flower of life, the way that they would hide it would be to shrink the circle so that you didn't see the entire flower of life. You didn't know. You had to extend it. You had to expand it on the circles to see that the entire pattern. That's exactly what Starbucks has done to hide the fact that they are based on this plasma deity, this occult knowledge. This draws your eye. This is why it's the logo. But look what they've done. The exact same thing that they did to hide the flower of life in antiquity, they've done here. They've cropped it so that you can't see that it's mermaid porn. Okay, so yeah, but here was something else that got unlocked for me by this. Look at this token, right? I always say this is the stick people of the Popol Vuh. The second people, who I believe were the original megalith builders. I traced the Serpent Mound in Ohio, found there's a topographical map of East Africa. The egg portion is Lake Chad. This is the Neti Massif, the Neti Plateau, where there are megaliths everywhere, natural forming megaliths. Every megalith we see in the rest of the world is them recreating the megaliths of their sacred homeland. So look at this pattern. See these diagonal. Look how specific they are, right? This is the Popol Vuh for the stick people. This is why they are called the stick people. I mean, it's practically, all you got to do is draw a head on it, right there. In fact, that may even be the head that they're counting. Yeah, this is it. This is the stick people. This is the exact design for the Popolu, the stick people. They are from Africa. They are Lake Chad, and it was a verdant green paradise. Lake Chad was bountiful during the Pleistocene era, while the rest of the world was freezing to death. They were learning center of gravity and how to do astonishing things with rocks. Okay, so what else I noticed is that it itself, I told you they are micro engravers. This is also a high. See the high symbol at the bottom here? In fact, they've made the teeth all high symbols. This is like an unraveled Stonehenge. And I wouldn't doubt it if when they microscan this thing or laser scan, if they don't find more tetragrammatons inside of that. So this is also where the Göbekli Tepe pillars come from. If you take the pi symbol right there, it's like half a pie, you know. And I think the fact that this is the pi symbol and the chai has a lot to do with their spirituality, with their construction things. The Stonehenge is a circle with the pi symbol. Think about it. And the pi symbol is the high symbol for life. So here is our Punisher logo. See the two divots? Look this up online, and I love calling it the Punisher logo because it's such an awesome shorthand that everybody knows. So right there. So you can probably find, like, this is probably... this showing how, because this would be the bird arm on the Göbekli Tepe. This is the bird head. This is where the disc is, and up here was where the plasma deity event. So this is still the pole star coming down. This is still showing the plasma deity event, even 55,000 years ago, happening far in antiquity. So I'm really liking my odds here on the 175,000-year-old Altamira man being a part of all this now. We have 51,000-year-old Neanderthal. How much of a leap is, if you can go back 51,000 years, can you go back another 100 years? I think you can. The world was a primitive before time forever. It was not our world. It was their world. And the plasma deity set us on they saw in the sky from Thunderbolts Project, Velikovsky, David Talbot, set us on our way to modern man. It still took 200,000 years for us to get here. And in that time, the Denisovans and the Neanderthals went extinct. We're really fortunate to be here. Everything that happened. Okay, so what this also tells me is, boom, I'm right. You guys thought I was nuts. I remember all that hateful comments I got. This is Horseshoe Bend in the Grand Canyon. They were micro carvers and they were macro carvers. This is the same thing. Boom, right there. And he's got a little skull here, just like he's got a little skull here. It's templates within templates. Look at that eye. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. This was geocarved. The second people, the first builders, were here. This was on their way around the world. They had this world for 200,000 years. That's how long they were around. Do you think they were just sitting around, smelling their farts? They were doing stuff. They went everywhere, and then a cataclysm happened, and they got all that they did, most of it got wiped out. We're lucky to still have what we have. It's only because, look what we have: bits of fragment, and we have megaliths. So we have the very tiniest, and we have the hugest stuff that they made. That's the only thing that lasted. So let me show you where obviously this thing is found around the world. This is almost a direct copy. This is how, and again, this is our plasma deity. This really happened. This really happened. That's the hardest thing to get your head around, is that this thing really happened. Once you do that, it all falls together. Like I said, I feel like the only kid at an Easter egg hunt where all the Easter eggs are just laying around on the ground. Once you know what you're looking for, the world is everywhere because it existed for 200,000 years. It's not possible for it to have been completely eradicated. We were just looking for the wrong stuff. Now we see this is this, this is this, this is this. Here he is again. You see, this is why we also have these African masks. See how far down the lip goes? This is why you have this repeated thing up here. This is what this is being represented. It's why it's so elongated. And this is the elongated skulls. They're doing the plasmidine. This is Ophiuchus also. See the star, the eye is messed up, so that's representing the Russell-Higgs star. These are binary stars, by the way. And this one is red, and this one is blue. And I've seen the different colors. I don't know how they know if we were closer to it at some point, but these are binary stars that they chose as eyes. They chose two stars that already had a relationship as the eyes for the constellation. Here it is again. I am 100% certain now that the Yanaguni monument is real. It's the same. They made another. I'm sorry, it's not a great photo. There's one. It's the same. This is the prehistoric art. The Yanaguni monument matches the 51,000-year-old bone fragment that they found in Germany, in Eisenhornhole. And believe me, it gives me no pleasure to say Eisenhornhole at all. Okay, so here we go again. This is totally the Yanaguni monument. The Yanaguni monument is real. CDI also here, right? Hello, Peru. Yep, that's what we got going on here in Peru. These guys traveled the world, and they were tattooing the world just like in works of art, the ancient works of art. They completely texturized the entire thing. I think they may have completely texturized the entire world. The New Justice League, where they find that the what is it, the infinity theory, or whatever the hell they call it, the negative theory or something, is actually written on the surface of the planet. I think that's what we're seeing here. And I think it's on micro levels and macro levels. I even have people now sending me Google coordinates where they're thinking they're seeing giant faces. Think of the Nazca lines. Think of the scale. These guys, I already showed you the horseshoe bend. Think of the scale these guys were capable of. They were not afraid of scale. They had all the time in the world. We've only been us, modern humans, our life here, 100 years. They had 200,000 years minimum to do all of this. We had the cataclysm. It wiped them all out. It cleared the slate. The devastation of the cataclysm is why we only have these remnants. It's 200,000 years later. I think I'm even seeing high symbols right there. Once you know because they always put high symbols at the top. There's one right there. Once you know what you're looking for, it's everywhere. There's the high symbol. That's Stonehenge. It's the ancient proto-Judaic faith that all religions come from via the plasma deity event. There they are. They're up there. This is probably stuff. This all needs to be laser scanned. When we laser scan all the ancient works, our entire history will come alive. This is the same thing in a painting or a rock carving in the Midwest. You see the crack going through it. The crack is a yoni, by the way. That's another feminine symbol. And there it is again. And this is the oldest depiction of Odin, because that's Odin, the king of the gods. There's the eye patch. And the template has the two birds, Odin and his two ravens. Okay, so here's that again. It's also our template for our moai. Here's that. See the three stripes right here? 1, 2, 3. I believe this is our man bags, and this is our monument, Japanese megalith monument. This is where that comes from, like that. Okay, see the snake that they put down the forehead right there. I think some cultures still do this today. There's a snake drawn down the forehead onto the nose. This is matching. This is Rapa Nui, Easter Island. This is Göbekli Tepe. This is almost the exact same snake going down the nose. In fact, yep, there is that thing. Where here it is, right there. right where it is on this. There's the snake, and there's the Thor's hammer, I reckon. I guess that might be where it comes from. So this is a match. This is a match of this Göbekli Tepe pillar. There, I just discovered something talking to you guys. The Göbekli Tepe pillar matches the face on the 51,000-year-old. This goes back to 13,000 BCE. This goes back to 51,000 BCE. Okay. This, if you count it off, and this blows my mind, matches the Kabbalah Tree of Life. We have another Judaic connection. And did the Neanderthals discover sacred geometry? Is that how advanced they were? Again, they're living in a time with modern humans, modern Homo sapiens, and Denisovans at the same time. But together, collectively, they discovered that this is the Tree of Life. And it comes from the plasma deity. Things are starting to get a little strange. The plasma deity is in perfect coordination with the Tree of Life. That means the sacred geometry applies to electric principles as well. We're starting to get to where Tesla was talking about. Tesla was the one who said that when we start looking at this stuff rather than the practical stuff that we're doing, our science will advance in leaps and bounds. This is a match, and this came from the plasma deity. They must have fainted when they realized that this created this. When it's the flower of life, when you connect the centers of all of these spheres, you get this, the Sephiroth. To find this pattern on this is ancient Judaism. Is what we're looking at, ancient Judaic mysticism. Far before even this was the official. There wasn't even any mysticism. This came first. And here's the other thing I want you to see. If you circle this upwards, just like that, instead you go up, we've got our snake. And this is our feathered serpent. See the beak? Feathered serpent is electricity. It's the electric arc. It's not common. It's an electric arc. So this also fits the Tree of Life. The serpent going up the Tree of Life. Where have we heard that before? Bible, right? It's a parable. Do you see how it's all connecting together? The serpent is going up the Tree of Life. That you're not allowed to have one of these apples. You're not allowed to know this, or you get thrown out of Eden. Eden was the Eneti Massif, where they all came from. Eden, Eneti. They were kicked out by the warlike tribe who executed them, who sacrificed them after the cataclysm. I'm getting all that later. All right, this also is the Caduceus. The Tree of Life creates the Caduceus because so does the plasma deity. You know, as they were coming up with all this and realizing all of this, they must have been like, we have unlocked the universe. The electric form matches the female reproductive system. It matches just the Kabbalah, the Sephiroth, what they had discovered in the sacred geometry. It's very uncanny. And how many things are uncanny that add up until it's there's something here. There's something more here. There's some secret to be unlocked about the universe that they may have discovered. So this is the snake. We also find it in this is Sacsayhuaman in Mesoamerica. This is Egypt. This is Mesoamerica. This is the Caduceus going up, and that's because it's still the plasma deity, but you can see where the snake is going up, and here's the wings, right? So we have a snake with wings, the feathered serpent. It's the Caduceus. It's electricity that they were seeing in the sky, and that they were. And here's, you want to hear the irony of ironies about Christianity, right? We see how the snake is going down, and here's the figure. Here's arms out. That's Jesus. The irony of ironies. is Jesus is the serpent. Jesus is the serpent. Look, see how he's wiggly? There he is. Here's his arms out, and there's his legs. He's wiggly. That's Jesus. Talk about hiding in the open. The sinner is the saint. Look at that. Just hit it right in the open. All right, there he is again. It's also the Pol Vuh. It's the corn stalk coming up. It's also the story in the Pol Vuh. This is from the Pol Vuh of the hero twins. Seven McCall rips off his arm. You can see it in here. See how they're leaning together like that? This is also the two figures on the Olmec, where the one is handing the other one a box. As I said, this is also the bird. To go back to Tepe, here's the bird, here's the wing, here's the disc. This would be Zebalba. And so this guy we also find as an African token, carved stone piece. And I'll bet you dimes to donuts down here that spells the Tetragrammaton somehow. Here he is as well. This is also what we find on others, and it's because all of them are this. They're all interpretations of this carving of the. They had 200,000 years to look at this image. They came up with a lot of variations. And every variation was a hidden thing and a sacred thing. So they're creating that. I want you to look at his clothing with the baubles and the crisscross. It's also our supposed reptilians. So all the reptilians are this again. These are all variations of the same guy. And notice how his baubles and his crisscross, their baubles and the crisscross, the cone head, this is all interpretations of the same thing. So too with the Dogon tribe. This is our plasma deity friend in the Starbucks configuration, right there. And down here would be his head that they've also made. See the marks right there? That's where his head would begin. And there's the high symbol. Does he have it on? Did they match it? Let's see. Am I going to make a discovery right with you here? It looks so. Yep. It's a blurry photo. Look at it yourself. This is the famous In Search Of. Do you know what it means to me? I started all of this as a kid in the 70s. Don't know my age there. Watching In Search Of. I was obsessed with In Search Of when I was a kid. And I remember this photo. And for me to be the one who has figured out what this is means so much to me inside. It really does. That was why I was so attracted to this thing from such an early age. It was just waiting for me to figure out. That is the plasma deity on top of the head. Underneath there is the beginning part. The high symbol here is the high symbol right in between there. I see another plasma deity here. This is the Dogon are proto-Jewish. The Dogon are worshiping the plasma deity in the sky that became the birth of the high symbol and monotheism, and in that regard became Judaism. All right, this is also where this comes from, the maternity symbol, which when you think of the Aneti Massif that has this carved, you really start to get a sense of what these people were capable of. Massive scale carving, massive, I call it geo-carving, because this is the pattern. And they carved that whole, I should have brought up that picture of it. And this is representing this as well. And here's the snake again. And you see this is a female figure with a snake. That is the myth of Alexander the Great's mother, that she was caught in bed with a snake. This is that image. They knew the occult image for Alexander the Great. They knew this. And in this regard, Alexander the Great's mother was also proto-Jewish. That's the mysticism. So you see the two characters here. There they are embraced. There they are embraced. There they are embraced. They were also clever about it in that if you see this as just a stem going up with a huge top, hello, Aneti Massif. This is where it all comes from. And there's two eyes right there. I'm finding better pictures. There's an eye and there's an eye. What is that? That's used for something. What is this character? I've seen this alien before. I'm telling you, this imagery has been mined to death. Okay, so it's going to come to me. Yeah, this is also this guy. So stem goes up, gigantic, and there's eyes too. Man, I just keep on, like, I'm discovering it. Look, there's two. 1, 2, right there. And that is also the hawk helmet. This is where it all comes from. That's the hawk part of the top of the eagle warrior. There's the beak, and there are the eyes. Okay, so this stem goes up as a snake, and there's the big rock, just like that. Here he is again. You can see imagine this is a figure with legs akimbo. There's our plasma deity, mother goddess, right there. Even things like this is in the Midwest of America. You see it, this angle right there. That's what this is. This is a match. I bet you there's stuff all in. I even see a Yanni right here. This has got to be laser. So you see this also, like how it's almost fingers. It's recreated in I have now found this particular style of cave painting in like 4 or 5 different caves spanning over tens of thousands of years. That in itself is proof of Atlantis. How we never put this together is such a reflection of our closed-mindedness and what a stranglehold that the elite who know all this stuff have put on this knowledge. This is matching this. You see the hand. So they're making these. This is 17,000 years ago. This is from Polynesia. He has it all over him. All these 3 marks. And you see his. See what he's doing with his fingers. That's cool. This is how they prayed, like that. They held it like that. He's praying right there, and they made the 3 because this is the 3. This is also where Native American war paint comes from. You see how it's just like Saruman. Remember that in Lord of the Rings? That's probably where they got that. They just slapped their face with the paint and put it right there. It's because he has it right there. This is how ancient this is and how global it was. Also, how corporate it has become. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep. The elite, no, I'm telling you, they are using this information because it draws your eye. And they even came up with, they busted it down, the geometry of the template to its exact dimensions. And I'm going to show you that in the next video because that is the true Atlantis. Everything else is just symbology matching geometry that fits in, and it's in the Pulpavu. I think I showed it last video. It's the key to everything. Okay, so this is it again. I'm going to show you the Tetragrammaton, how it is one more time. This is the Tetragrammaton, the early Judaic name of God. The little one right here is this little one right here. The Tetris upside down L over top of it is this right here, and because it creates a high symbol, a chai, and that's Stonehenge right there as well. And this snake-looking thing is this snake-looking thing. They're using the symmetry as this is the divider, this is the middle line, because these are the same symbol. So they have it there, they put it there. It's actually really inventive how they did it. And then this little symbol, so I've showed you the middle one is in there. This little symbol is right here, which also looks like they've made it into like a little Göbekli Tepe pillar. And this L goes right over top of there. And this is the smile right here, which looks like a smiley face, a decapitated skull. We've seen this. I think this is Giza. Also, if you look at the layout of the Giza Plateau with the pyramids, I think it makes this face. Check it out. So there it is. The Tetragrammaton is in a 51,000-year-old Neanderthal piece of work. I think my theory is being proven correct. I'm Steve. I got tons more to show you. There's so much. I don't even have time in the day. I took off work today to do this, so this is starting to cost me money, which I don't mind because it's totally my passion. But in this regard, I am going to set up a Patreon account. Give whatever you can, help me keep it going because, like all that stuff happened to my electronics. I'm not saying maybe so, maybe not. And now I'm taking days off to work to figure, because I'm so close. There's one final mystery that I am this close to unlocking. And that's beyond the Da Vinci stuff, where I swear to God, I will prove to you that he took the first photograph. You're never going to believe what the first photograph was. Da Vinci's mom was from North Africa. Chad is in North Africa. That should give you a clue as to what he took a picture of. In the Da Vinci works, it's well known that if you place a mirror, he has characters like pointing places. And if you put a mirror there, it creates an image, and he hid stuff in the imagery. And I believe that I have found the world's first electric generator. And it has to do, remember the last video, if you watched the last video, I showed you where there's a stone that is shaped like a high, and it has a carved center through it. Those grains inside those threads, I have found is where either a light bulb or an arc light generator went in, screwed into the top. Here's a big clue. Have you ever noticed how much the high symbol, which I don't think I have it, but it's just this connected, looks like a magnet? Guess what you use to make electricity? Magnets. Giant magnet, high symbol, with the center hole cut out, where I have found a picture that looks like it's a light bulb on the top, or perhaps it's the cut, but there is some luminescence coming out of it. I'm going to show you all that in my Da Vinci video. But these new astonishing discoveries keep coming up. Okay, I think I took a breath. You guys sometimes write and say you need to take a breath. I get so excited. All right, guys, I'm Steve. This is AtlantisConfirmed, and I will see y'all on the next one. Adelante. I keep forgetting the word.